the Cajun Turnbuckle Podcast.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another live edition of the Cajun Turnbuckle Podcast right here on Dirty South Entertainment. I am one half. I am Marcus. Rich won't be here this week. He'll go come back next time. We're going to be on the air whenever we decide. But I brought a guest on. Man, I've seen the face before, but you're going to hear the voice when he starts talking. He was actually on with me when we did our WrestleMania 30 nostalgia on the audio side. Representing Miami, Florida, the 305. You can catch him on the Stanley Media House Network with one of his three shows, Squared Circle Digest, Talkin Racing Now, and South Florida Sports Unfiltered. Mr. Sean Stanley himself. Now you're on the live stream side. So what's going on, bro?
Man, I took a step up. I've graduated. I went from NXT to the main roster. I appreciate you having me on, man. Thank you.
Also, people didn't know this. You were once an indie wrestler. What did they call you in the ring?
I started out as Tank because I got out of the military, and I was heavy-footed when I ran the ropes. So they said, you sound like a tank when you run, so I was Tank. And then I ended up, by the end, I was the Sean Allen, THEE, Sean Allen. That's what I went with. And I was just down here in South Florida mostly, but I had a great time. I wish I was in the Indies now with the way everything has exploded. Well, actually, even back a few more years, but then it was very more territorial in a way, if you want to look at it that way.
That suits you, right? Like the Tank himself, Sean Stanley. So, and you said you toured with Lita once. Who else have you worked for? Like very well known people.
I did a tour in Peru. That one we used to do Comic-Cons, believe it or not, down here in South Florida, and I think they went and they started traveling it. I got to wrestle Kevin Sullivan, rest in peace, which was a cool thing for me. My manager, Buddha Dean, another great guy, was one of the original in Championship Wrestling from Florida with Kevin Sullivan, the Purple Haze woman at the time. Well, not even woman at the time. I forgot what she went by when she was in Championship Wrestling from Florida. That would be Nancy, rest in peace as well. And I got a chance to I met him before that. We had worked out, and then I got a chance to wrestle him, and that was very cool. I've been in the ring with Sandman, Hack Myers, rest in peace, Dave Johnson down here. Had quite a few. Roderick Strong. I got a chance to wrestle Roderick.
Awesome.
I was about to get to wrestle Tyson Tomko, and then that never unfolded. But this was back 2014 timeframe, not Roderick Strong today. Roderick Strong 2014, and he was still a machine. He was
awesome.
He was way above where anybody else was at that time. And on that same show, Adam Cole was on as well. That was a pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
Adam Cole at the time.
Yeah, everyone loved him, especially before he got to NXT. Started the Undisputed Era. Well, I figured we got some good stuff to talk about because, I got a long day ahead of me. That's why I'm recording this early. We got a PLE tonight we're going to predict that I'm really not hyped for. It's sad I'm more hyped for UFC 328 than Backlash, but, we'll run that out of the card. But quite a bit of stuff I thought we could talk about to make it interesting today. I want to start, of course, if you've heard what happened earlier this week, we got to send our condolences and the prayers to the Turner family. Of course, for those who don't know who Ted Turner was, they had a guy that was just as powerful as Vince McMahon. I'm talking about not just in wrestling, but he was like in the real world. Like this guy was an entrepreneur. He was a billionaire. He was the founder of TNT. He was the founder of TBS. He was the founder of CNN, which became the first 24-hour news service. He was once the owner of the Atlanta Braves from 89 till about, I think, like sometime in the late 90s, early 2000s. But he also had something to do with Cartoon Network. He didn't find it. I think he helped get it on the air or something, or he had some big part of it. But he took Jim Crockett Promotions and Georgia Championship Wrestling, combined them together in 1988, and created World Championship Wrestling, WCW. And because of Ted, when I started getting into the wrestling business, that was what I tuned into first in 97. I put on Nitro and saw this, and Ted Turner's I got to give it to him. He was the one that got me into wrestling first. So you got anything you want to share about Ted Turner or everything he's accomplished and all he's done?
Yeah, I mean, you said a lot of it. The only thing that, like, I went to a Braves game when he owned them at the time it was Fulton County Stadium. And I got a chance because, again, we didn't have the Marlins here in Florida, Miami. So Braves were our team, WTBS. And then I used to get mad because on Saturdays when the Braves played, the wrestling show would either just be 6:05 to 7:05 because then they would go to, was it Skip Carey and Ernie that were doing the call for the Braves game at 7:05. So you'd only get an hour of wrestling, which used to upset me a lot. But then when the battle started and, you saw the skits with Vince doing Trillionaire Ted and then the Monday Night Wars. And I believe all of that started because of a comment. WWE actually ran on TBS one show. I believe they called it Black Saturday or whatever it was. And then some comments were made, and Ted Turner said he wanted to run Vince McMahon out of business. And he became not obsessed with that, but that was his goal. And usually Ted Turner's goals came to fruition. And, man, it was good. He brought, two territories together that were wrestling and made them, wrestling. And that's what, Ted Turner did. He brought it, made it more mainstream at a time where WWE wouldn't have had competition, or WWF at the time. And can't say enough about him, man. He TV wise, wrestling wise, everything he did. Thank you, Ted.
He also it was actually 76 that he purchased the team, and he sold it to Time Warner. Like WCW, he sold it to Time Warner in 96. He also owned the Thrashers when they were in Atlanta for their short time from 99 to 04 before they relocated back to the Winnipeg to become the Winnipeg Jets. So yeah, he also owned the hockey team as well. I'm kind of surprised he had no connections with the Atlanta Falcons as well, or even something like that.
Yeah, he probably was a minority owner, just not involved as heavy with those. Probably, I would think, because he had a pulse of Atlanta. I mean, everything Atlanta ran usually, it felt like through Turner at that time.
What's crazy too for me is, like, if it wasn't for Ted Turner, I wouldn't known what pro wrestling was. As I said, I got into WCW first. If it wasn't for Ted Turner, I wouldn't have saw Hogan for the first time, which I saw him as Hollywood. I didn't grow up. I wasn't even here during Hulkamania at its peak.
Wow.
I caught Hogan in NWO.
Wow. And you caught skinny Hogan.
What's funny was when I saw him on TV and I'm looking at him like, I know I've seen that face before. And I'm thinking back of those movies I've watched from, like, Mr. Nanny, Tropical Paradise, whatever, and then Three Ninjas High Noon at Mega Mountain. I'm like, I know I've seen that face before, and sure enough, yeah, he was a wrestler.
I believe it was Thunder in Paradise was the one that he did the show. I think it was Thunder in Paradise.
Thunder in
with
Paradise.
The boats, because that's how he met Eric Bischoff. They were on the studio beside him doing that. That's where they kind of got together.
Oh yeah, I think he was also in a Gremlin movie. I'm
really?
trying to recall. Wow.
I do not remember the Gremlin one. I'm sure he was. I'm sure. I know he did the Rockies. I know he did the.
He did Rocky 3, Suburban Commando. That was another
Suburban Commando. Yep. Wasn't he in like a Tooth Fairy style movie at one point, or is that Mr. Nanny? That might have been Mr. Nanny. That was
Mr. Nanny when he was wearing the tutu. But like
tutu, yep, that's right. Yeah.
But then it caught me. Because I was a big fan of the Rocky movies, and then when I watched, I did a marathon one time as a kid. When I put Rocky 3 on, and I saw Hogan, I'm like, oh, that's Hollywood Hogan.
Yeah, like, Thunderlips, baby, Thunderlips. I loved it.
I think it was the second Gremlins movie that no one really talks about. Like, first one was a classic, but it's like, I remember that, Suburban Commando, and of course Mr. Nanny and Three Ninjas High Noon at Mega Mountain. That's all I remember him as. Dave Dragon or Shep Ramsey, Sean Armstrong. I think he was in Spy Hard too as well. He was in Spy Hard, but he had a cameo in it. I remember that. But like he was himself in Gremlins too. I know that. But yeah, you mentioned the other ones, old Thunderlips and Rip Thomas and all those other characters. But Dave Dragon was for me when he.
Oh, that's the other one. No Holds Barred with Zeus. They actually made that into an angle in WWE at the time. Yeah, it was No Holds Barred, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he was Rip Thomas.
Rip Thomas. Yep, that's right. That's Rip Thomas.
Yeah, one for Ted. I wouldn't have saw him. I wouldn't have saw Goldberg, Bret Hart, Piper, all them guys that were in the WWF in the past. And then I wouldn't have fell in love with this beautiful baby right here.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a beautiful belt.
Well, I made a vow commitment. I said if Roman would be Punk at Mania, I was gonna order another belt to add, and I put some lists up, and everybody on Driving to the Top said get big gold. You got to get big gold. So I went all in and out. I got a replica. I didn't buy no commemorative belt. I bought the actual. I'm talking about. I couldn't even stick it on the wall. Like this is a commemorative belt. Like this is that leather that's like not that real leather. If I wanted to put that up there, I'd have to like nail it to the wall. That genuine leather, like Attack can't stick through it.
Yeah. You went all out on that bad boy.
Oh, I've had people fall in love with it. Like, bro, can I see it up close? Yeah. So it was just sitting right
Let
here.
Let people take pictures with it, man. Let people take pictures with it.
Oh yeah, next time I go to a wrestling show, like there'll probably be Money in the Bank or something, but unless something comes before that, I'll bring it. And it's got some weight too. It's probably like about 9 pound, 10 pound belt.
Yeah, those things got some weight, man. They got some weight.
Yep. I see you got a nice little belt collector yourself. I see the Ring of Honor Championship, the X Division title, the AEW, and the WWE Championship behind you.
Yeah, I got them all back there. But I believe those are more of the commemorative ones as well, because they're not the heavy ones. I think the AEW one is a little bit heavier than the other ones, but I don't think it's.
I bought this one first, the white icy tail.
I love the white, and that one in the skulls was my favorite belts that WWE did.
It was a toss-up that I wanted to get the white strap or the black strap, but I wanted that design. I went ahead and bought the white one, but I paid this was back when belts used to be cheaper. Like when
that's when I got those, by the way.
I think I bought this in 2015. I think I paid maybe like $200 something for it on WWE Shop because it was a replica. That's an LSU championship belt I custom made on.
Okay. There's
a website you can customize your own belts. I think it's Undisputed something. I forgot. I made that during the pandemic. I made an LSU title belt. Whenever D'Angelo
what did
Sanchez,
you follow? What is the what belt did you replicate, or did you just go all out on your own and design a whole new style of belt?
I wanted to do
after
different.
A belt, or
I got the idea from a diehard Super LSU fan. If you've seen on TV, he's from Atlanta. His name's D'Angelo Sanchez. He's that. If you ever watch LSU games, he's that black guy in the stands holding that title belt. He's always dressed in a suit or something. It's usually like an LSU suit, and he can get a place riled up, go hard. And that's where I got the idea from. And when I used to have a sports talk show called SAT, I brought him on as a guest, and he told me the story about it and everything. And then I showed him mine, and he absolutely loved it. And I've met him at games a time or two, but next time I saw him in a game, we actually took a picture with both our belts together. Like he held mine, I held his. Until I forgot to save it in my iCloud, and when I upgraded my phone, it disappeared forever. So if I ever come across them again, we're gonna have to retake it.
Yeah. A redo.
I wanted to update it, but it's just time consuming and trying to think of new ideas, and plus how much it costs to redo your belts and stuff. It's not cheap.
Not a cheap hobby, man. Not a cheap hobby.
No, but next up, if I buy anything next, it's gonna be Wing Eagle. I want that belt next, and I want Eddie Guerrero's WWE title custom belt. That's like the next two for me right there. I want to get. But let's move on here. That's all I got on Ted Turner. Thank you for planting the seeds of me being a wrestling fan.
Mm-hmm. He did that for many. I mean, that's the thing that he did. He didn't.
And I'm repping Wolfpack shirt, which
there it is. Uh oh.
I made a fuck up. I didn't turn it inside out, and it ripped some of the paint off. And I've had this shirt for a while.
Now we call it vintage.
Yeah, I'd rather the Wolfpack more than NWO Hollywood. That was just me.
I did too. It was more at that point. It became more entertaining for Wolfpack than black and white. Black and red was more entertaining.
Remember, the guy who wrote the song is from New Orleans, C Murder.
Yeah.
So, quick question: are you a fan of documentaries or anything like that?
I am actually. I love the documentaries. You know what? I love the. I don't know if I said it the last time. I love the shoot interviews. Although some of them, you got to take it with a grain of salt because most of the time when people do the shoot interviews, they're doing it when they're very highly upset at somebody or a company. So all the dirt that flies out sometimes not. But yeah, I love documentaries. I love the shoot interviews. I love the behind the scenes part of everything in general.
Well, when it comes to documentaries, whether it could be like WWE 24, biography, legends, or anything you could find on like Netflix or Peacock, Hulu, anything like that. One of my all-time favorites is Dark Side of the Ring. Like ever since I came across it during the pandemic, I was on cloud nine when I realized I caught the channel Vice on DirecTV and I'd watch it whenever. Well, we're getting a season 7. It kicks off July 7th. I'm super pumped. And if you saw the list, I wanted to get your reaction about this. They usually drop about 9-10 episodes, but the season premiere is going to be July 7th, and it's going to start with a first ever 3-part special. We've never had a 3-part, and people were complaining about this because they're like, why did this have to be 3-parted? Well, there's a lot to it. TNA Wrestling and Jeff Jarrett, and what a way to kick off season 7. I'm actually excited to hear about this, about the actual stuff of how it got started, the ups and downs, him leaving to go take care of his sick wife that passed away from breast cancer, and then bringing in Dixie Carter. I want to hear all this from Jeff himself and all the others who've been down that path. So, yeah, I wanted to start with that one. You're a big fan of Dark Side of the Ring, and if you are, how you feel about this new season coming up, opening up with TNA and Jeff Jarrett?
Yeah, no, I am a big fan of Dark Side of the Ring for the fact that they delve into probably some of the things that you're not going to get a documentary on. Honestly, I mean, Jeff Jarrett may have been able to fund his own documentary, and you would have got that side of it. But I also like the way where they kind of hit on both sides of the matter. They kind of don't like, again, if it's about Jeff Jarrett and stuff, usually, at least the ones I've watched and seen, they're going to give you the good and the bad of the Jeff Jarrett. It's not just going to be, Jeff Jarrett was the angel and TNA and Dixie Carter did this or whatever. They're going to dive into what you saw, what you didn't see, and you can kind of, put it together on everything that happened. I love that part of the Dark Side of the Ring and the way they dive into things, and the smaller the Dino Bravos, those stories like that. I love the fact that Dark Side of the Ring covers those smaller, and again smaller, but a lot of people don't know the whole issue with what happened with Dino Bravo. I mean, he was there one week, he was gone the next, and then all of a sudden you saw a couple months later you see a tribute for him, and it's like then you saw the whole story and you saw his whole life, and oh, okay, there's more to Dino Bravo than the 7 minutes I saw on WWE TV. And that's what I love about these, is because you get the whole impact of the situation. You might look at it now and be like, oh, Jeff Jarrett and TNA, oh boy. But by the time you're probably done with this three-part series, you're going to be like, damn, all that was going on while they were making, at the time when TNA started, weekly pay-per-views. Then when Dixie got in charge and with Jeff, they went to, more national TV. And the stories behind that is the part that I like about the Dark Side of the Ring. And they also get into the dark side of everything.
Yeah, like they started in Huntsville, then relocated to Nashville for a few years, then moved to Universal in Orlando. And then the kind of downfall they had from going to somewhere in I think it was in Ottawa in Canada, then having to go to Vegas, having like when Jeff absent, they had like Jim Cornette running Impact. I don't know. I think that's when they brought Dixie Carter. I thought they brought her after the 2000s. Like I can't wait to see all that. But
yeah,
I like the posthumous episodes on wrestlers, especially old school ones that were very good back in the day, but had a dark side, and then they passed away. And we're going to get a couple of those. Like they're going to do one on Paul Orndorff. They're going to Big Boss Man, Missy Hyatt, and the Renegade, Rick Wilson. That's 4 of those episodes we're going to get. Then they got them ones where like, oh, this guy was so controversial. he had a dark past, but he's still here today. And this season, they're going to do one on Zach Gowen, the one-legged wrestler. I'll never forget that storyline in 2003 with Mr. America, a.k.a. Hulk Hogan, bringing in Zach Gowen. And then they always got that one event or one particular moment or match where, like, I said nothing's going to out-top the plane ride from hell. That was one of my all-time favorite episodes. But I cannot wait to see the backstory on Necro Butcher versus Samoa Joe from 2005. Someone, when I started getting into podcasting during the pandemic, someone told me to go watch that match. And if you ever talk about it in the near future, give me a call. I said, okay. And I don't talk to the guy no more. Mm-hmm. I went back and watched that. That was the craziest shit I've ever seen. When they announced it the other day, I went back and watched it twice last night. And
I haven't watched it again in a while. But
first off, CM Punk and Eddie Kingston on commentary made it so special. Yeah. And then Necro Butcher, like, I don't know how. I hope we get him to be talked on this show. I hope he's there to talk in person. I gotta know what he went through after that, man. What got me was the DD when they did the bump off the ring apron where he got DDT'd head first on the concrete, and the back of his head was just gushing out like a fountain, and then he had that big gash on his forehead. Like, I'm shocked he didn't have a fucking concussion. And then Joe's body was all covered in his blood with those knees to the face. Like, he was a damn bloodbath. It was like the Brood just showed up, and this happened in Philly the weekend of ECW One Night Stand. When I remember the night before they did an ECW homecoming show, and then the next night they did this shit, and then they had One Night Stand in New York City. So, you know, that's all. Punk's got to be on this. Eddie Kingston's got to be on this, but Necro Butcher has to be on this show to talk about it, what happened. Like,
yeah, I would think they got everybody involved because they have been very good the first 6 seasons of getting the people that they needed to pinpoint exactly how things happen. And I think that's what makes Dark Side of the Ring. Again, maybe some of the topics might not be your cup of tea or something like that, but they get everybody involved. You usually don't get just the one side. You'll get the full story of everything. And then, like you said, I hope they have everything because it's going to be interesting.
I wonder if that or Zach Gowen's going to be the season finale. That's going to be 2 hot ones I want to see this season outside the 3-parted one.
What's funny is I'm interested in seeing also the one on the Renegade, just because I know like the outcome of what happens in it.
Yeah,
I didn't understand, and again, this is the part, you know, the whole thing of how he got the quick rise that he had gotten at that time. That's the part that I'm interested in seeing, the whole workup of everything on that one. And then, of course, the Missy Hyatt one, because there's so many things said about Missy Hyatt. I want to see just what actually is coming out of that document, that one.
I know there's been so many good ones. Like, every season was a home run. Like, there was not. Yeah, there might have been one that was like the least interesting one. Like, I didn't care for the Hell in a Cell one because I already knew the backstory about it and whatnot. Was there at least? I know it's gonna be hard. Is there at least 3 that you've watched that you like stunned you? Like, oh my god, this was such good storytelling.
The Dino Bravo one really caught me off guard. Honestly, I didn't know all about his affiliations and stuff like that. That one was one of the ones where you're like, wow, okay, there's some darkness and again, this is older wrestlers. The Airplane Ride from Hell, I mean, I'd heard everything, but they see it kind of, I guess, on TV and spoken and all of the stuff that went down. And man, see, now I'm trying to remember. I don't know if this one was the Eddie Gilbert one a Dark Side of the Ring, or did I watch that on something else?
I think it was a Dark Side of the Ring.
Because I loved Eddie Gilbert. I loved everything. I mean, I know a lot of people didn't, you know, again, it was a name that was kind of before, but when he was in Mid-South, then he went to UWF, and his mind was one of those minds, and to watch that, and again, that's kind of where the Missy Hyatt, Eddie Gilbert type thing. And then I think Missy Hyatt went John Tatum, and when once Eddie Gilbert had passed away or had left, I didn't realize all of the stuff that Eddie Gilbert went through with like the beginning of Eastern Championship Wrestling. And then, he gets out and then Heyman is in and things like that. And again, I might be mixing up a couple of the Dark Side of the Ring things, but they do, if you watch them, you'll start seeing some that coincide with each other. But the Eddie Gilbert one really hit me because I thought he could have been bigger than what wrestling allowed him to be because he was that smart and that good.
For me, it was the plane ride from hell. That got me. Like kind of in laughter too.
Yeah.
The Muhammad Hassan one. Like when I saw this was coming, I'm like, oh shit, yes, yes. I had to hear see if everything was true what they said about they were gonna push him to beat Batista before the bombing in London happened, and then. But I was so proud. I was happy that he was able to go be an educator outside the rest of the world. He was a principal and everything. Yep. Albeit, and for a guy for an Italian from Syracuse, I thought, like, man, he played good as
he did.
Being an Arab American. Like, and then 10 years later, we had Jinder Mahal fill the void for what they wanted to do for Muhammad Hassan, which, speaking of Backlash, I'm going to get a lot of heat for that. One of my favorite Backlash moments, Jinder Mahal winning that championship.
Yeah. Yeah, because you didn't expect it, honestly, at that point. I mean, Jinder Mahal and Randy Orton, like.
Yeah. And then one more, I mean, I wish they'd have gave him his own episode, but they probably will in the future. When they threw Eddie's story in the Chris Benoit two-parted series.
Yeah.
Like, he should have had his own episode, but I've like, year after year, I would, like, send a message to Dark Side of the Ring on X or post a tweet, like, give Eddie Guerrero his own episode. Make it two-parted if you got to. Like, those are like my three, but like I've seen them all, like the steroid trial, the Black Saturday, the UWF one, Owen Hart's, like it goes on. Like I've seen them all and I've enjoyed every single one. Bash at the Beach 2000 was another crazy one. You had to get Vince Russo in there, and I think I counted how many times he said bro in it.
Yeah.
So
and hopefully you weren't drinking.
No, I was sober. Like I bought it. I took a clicker and I kept clicking how many times I heard bro, and I think he said it like 140 times on Dark Side of the Ring. And I get the hate he gets, but man, dude, Vince Russo, I would love to talk with him. And I click bro every time he'd say it if I ever get him.
Yeah. No, I know. I mean, again, he's one of those guys. Like he's been in the business. He gets it. He has a good mind. But sometimes he goes overboard. That's that. But again, that's a good thing and a bad thing probably for him. You have to have somebody there to calm him down. When you don't, you end up getting new blood.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna shift this to the side real quick because if you're watching live, you'll be able to see it. But if you're only listening on the audio side, I'll bring it up. The other day, Sports Illustrated posted their top 20 greatest WWE superstars of all time, and people were like, agreeing or disagreeing with the list. So other ones were making their own special lists. This is what they had and bottomed them up. I mean, we could talk about it all at once, but there's only one female on this list. Yeah. I feel like it's the perfect female. But looking at this list, I mean, 20 Becky Lynch, 19 Mick Foley, 18 Jericho, 17 Punk, 16 Andre, 15 Orton, 14 Edge, 13 Piper, 12 Kurt Angle, 11 Macho Man. Then in the top 10, you had Bruno at 10, Bret Hart at 9, HBK at 8, Triple H at 7, Undertaker at 6, and then your top 5, Roman at 5, Cena at 4, Rock at 3, Hogan at 2, and Stone Cold at 1. I don't hate this list at all. I think this is a legit list. You got the perfect woman. To put a woman on this list, you picked the right woman in Becky Lynch to make the list. But people were complaining about the top 5, like how Hogan should have been number 1. He started it, but Stone Cold drew that money a lot more than Hogan. Yeah. I felt like Taker probably should have been in the top 5. I mean, I digress, but I'm not hating this list at all. People were shit-talking this list. But what's your take about Sports Illustrated's top 20?
Yeah, man, I can't really argue with the list. I wish they would have had more of the past. I mean, I know you got Bruno there, but Pat Patterson and Pedro Morales at the times were again, WWF was not what WWE is, so the eyeballs weren't there, but they were very important to, when you look at all time, I feel like they could have, and maybe they're 21, 22. I don't know where the rest of the list went, but you can't really argue with everybody on this list. I mean, as I agree with you, I think Undertaker deserves to be in the top 5. The Hogan Austin chant is, however you want to go with it. Hogan might have started it and made it a cultural mainstream, but Austin brought in the money. Austin is one of the largest stars. Or I think he still is the largest star ever. I don't know now with the way money is as far as to buy a shirt now. Remember when Stone Cold was selling shirts, it was $15, $20, $25. Now they're up to $45. So I'm sure some people are going to pass.
Yeah.
Huh?
I said, yeah, I'm pretty sure he's still making a killing with his money.
I think I know he's making shirts now too. They made shirts for him, but I can't argue the list, man. I really can't. I mean, there might be some guys where I'm like, oh, I probably would have put, maybe Andre up a little more. But other than that, I mean, I think they got a good 20 on the list. Would I've liked to seen another female on there? Maybe, but then I looked at it and I'm like, okay, Fabulous Moolah was a champion for I believe 40 years, but then you hear the stories of what she did and how she kept the belt, and you're like, Wendy Richter was the mainstream for 2 WrestleManias, and then she had the falling out. Becky Lynch is the perfect person on there right now. I mean,
the only ones that are going to complain about Becky only being up there is the Charlotte Flair diehards, the Sasha Banks diehard, or any of the other 4 horsewomen diehards.
Yeah.
But no, Becky was the one.
When you look back at it, the only ones that would honestly have an argument would be Charlotte ones, and that would only be because of how many titles she's had.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at the overall work, Becky has been on top more than Charlotte. Now whether that's because of creative or breaks, because Becky with the broken nose got one of the biggest breaks that had happened with the blood and her doing the thing and the man, but Becky Lynch is on top of the women's division right now, even as the Intercontinental Champion or whatever she is now.
Yeah, the women's IC champ. If you would put a second woman up there, then it's got to either be Trish or Lita.
No, I think it would be Charlotte, honestly.
Or
I mean, out of nostalgia, I would love to have Trish or Lita, but man, I feel like again, I'm going off accolades now. Now, if you look at fandom and things like that, yes, maybe Charlotte or Lita jumps ahead of them. But for what they've done, I think Charlotte would be the next, just because she's 13, 14, whatever she is now. I don't even know. I've lost track how many belts she's had and things like that. Just by her accomplishments, I think she would get the nod over Trish and Lita. Trish and Lita would be like Pedro and Pat to me, just missing the top 20, like in the top 25, 30, but maybe not in the top 20.
The only thing I'd shift around in the top 5 is I'd probably would put Cena at 3, Taker at 4, 5 would be a toss up with Roman and The Rock. But now 1 and 2 could stay the same, which I said, Austin drew all that money. Hogan started it all. By the way, Hogan's documentary on Netflix, must watch. I really enjoyed the little 5-part series on his documentary on Netflix. But other than that, I think the list is legit.
Yeah, no. When I looked at it first, I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna hate to. Here we go, another list. And then as I looked at it, I was like, you know what? I mean, yeah, again, you can sit here and you can nitpick like, oh, this guy shouldn't be 12. This guy should be above this guy. But I think they got the right 20 names on there probably. I mean, there's probably some guys that'll argue, like you said, with the Beckys and things like that. But I think they got the pretty solid list, actually.
Oh, yeah. Not that. But I should have got the picture up, but I'm pretty sure you could pop it up yourself somewhere. But we'll kind of talk some of today's stuff, with SummerSlam coming up. I know I don't know what you advertised 2 years ago. You're going to Minneapolis, but now all of a sudden you want to do ticket sales. I look at it and I'm not complaining, but I can tell you what, the ticket pricing has dropped a shitload more since they were in Vegas for Mania. But then you still got the ones that are still complaining, like, oh, that's still too high and whatnot. Actually, no, because when I looked at it, I think for nosebleeds in Vegas for Mania, they were almost $1,000. Nosebleeds for SummerSlam are averaging $150 to $200. That's actually a fair price. Then you got
that's where pricing should be. Honestly, that's where it should be for those seats.
I'm not even going to say the whole prices, but I'm going to just jump straight to ringside. WrestleMania ringside tickets were what, like freaking $20,000, almost as much as a college tuition.
Yeah,
ringside seats for SummerSlam are averaging between $1,000 to $3,000. That is super cheap. It don't sound cheap, but it sounds way cheaper than WrestleMania.
It's almost like they went the extreme backwards. Like they're like, you know what? We were way so high. Now we're going to take them. And again, usually with the front row seats, just so everybody understands, usually, especially with the big 4 pay-per-views, you'll get like some type of experience with it. You'll either get to keep the chair, you might get a meet and greet with it, you might get, there's other things that come along with it. So again, not $20,000 worth of stuff to go with it, but when you're looking at ringside seats now for $1,000, I feel like now they went the extreme other way, in a way, as far as for the value on them. Not knowing the whole story of why they've shifted this, other than it was getting outrageous.
Well, is it that bad with TKO that they're pulling a 2022? They're only going to sell seats for half the damn stadium. They're going to curtain off the other half, because when I looked at the full seated venue, they're only selling half the arena. Like, is it that bad with TKO? It's like 2022 all over again when they went to Nashville. You're not gonna be able to fill the whole place up.
I think so, man. I mean, look, man. Let's be honest. I mean, the product is not as good as it was. I mean, it's not. And then when you look at all the stuff happening outside of the business now, like TKO's got a big black eye to me right now, and it's going to be interesting to see how they maneuver around this. Because again, back in the old days, to me, this is the time where Vince becomes the heel. Like, I don't understand why TKO just doesn't take this and say, all right, let's just bite into this, and we make it WWE versus TKO. Because there's guys there, there's mouthpieces there to where you could do this. But again, the problem is TKO got greedy, and now I think they seen the error in their ways, and the product is not as good as it was when they were getting the crowd to come.
Just get ready when that weekend comes, and then they're going to have those wrestling marks that AEW diehards are going to find pictures of, like, fans at the show, and then they're sitting on the opposite direction where half the stadium's curtain off, and then they're going to compare it to All In and all that bullshit.
Yeah, but see, this is where AEW does All In correct. They go away for All In. They don't do it in the U.S. most of the time. I mean, they have done it. Don't get me wrong, but for the most part, they go to England. They go to the UK. They sell better over there. So yeah, that makes sense. Just like. I honestly didn't think we would ever get another Big 4 pay-per-view in the U.S. I honestly thought SummerSlam, WrestleMania, Royal Rumble would always be international, and then they would do the backlashes, the other stuff in the U.S. because, again, sometimes, the U.S. fans, we get a little upset that we have to pay these prices.
Well, if you're not, they had 2 years to try and sell out this new stadium. I want to see what it's like with a wrestling show, but with it being that bad, they should have just went to plan B and just went down. I wouldn't say downgrade, but moved to like Target Field, like the baseball park for the Twins, or if you can't fill up a stadium, just go to Target Center. Like I can't deal with the half stadium filled shows if you're not going to fill them up all the way, and then I got to hear the wrestling marks bring all this old bullshit up. But
well, what they'll do is they'll do they'll make a huge ass production stage at about the 50-yard line or whatever to shorten the stadium so that you won't be able to see the whole backdrop of it, or they start slashing prices even more and I might even get a plane ticket and go to see SummerSlam in Minneapolis.
Well, they're not going to have 60,000. I can tell you that. You'll be lucky if they have 45,000 or close to 50.
But you know what's funny is like we're sitting here talking about 45 or 50. I mean, nobody else is doing that.
No,
not on a consistent. I mean, they might get one show, and again, I'm not going to sit and talk bad about, but like that's what you usually get. It's like with WrestleMania. It's like, oh, they're only going to do 42 to 44. Okay, what pay-per-views are other companies doing that are getting 42 to 44,000 tickets consistently?
Yeah. Well, speaking of Mania, we already know where they're going next year. They're going to Riyadh. Yes. We possibly might know. We possibly know where they might end up in 2028. But I came across some leak shit. Like, I mean, you can't believe everything, but this could possibly be a nice trend here. They had a thing about where WrestleMania will be for the next 5 years. And I mean, 43 is locked in. We already know they're going to Riyadh when they're already going back in June. Look, jump real quick. When they do, is it Night of Champions or whatever, the one that's coming in June, they should have moved that to Jeddah. Like, Riyadh's getting a little too spoiled now. You already hosted the Rumble. You're getting this and you're getting Mania next year. You should have just gave that one to Jeddah or something. But anyhow, Nashville looks like they're trying their best to get 44 in 2028, and they're literally about to close the lid on that, officially getting it, which it's something, finally a new city hosting it, and I wouldn't mind a country-themed WrestleMania, and they're bidding to get it in 2028 because their new stadium for the Titans is going to be complete in 2027, so that would be a fit for them. 45, supposedly, quote-unquote, is the apology for New Orleans, like, hey, sorry we took 42 from y'all, and we gave y'all money in the bank. We will give you a future WrestleMania down the road. Potentially, they could get WrestleMania 45 in 2029. 46 is going to be the one for Indianapolis because you remember their little 3-package deal. They just hosted the Rumble in 25. They're rumored to host SummerSlam in 2027 to make this every 2 years on that deal. So, you know, they're going to come in 2029 or 2030, something like that. And then 47 supposedly is going to go to Orlando because Orlando pulled in Indianapolis. The Orange County Commission's approved an $18 million bid on WWE and UFC to host specific events, including supposedly Survivor Series this year, the Royal Rumble in 2028, and WrestleMania 47 in 2031, all three at Camping World Stadium. So an outdoor Survivor Series again, an outdoor Royal Rumble again in the near future. But, like, yeah, in the next 5 years, I mean, that could be legit to see Riyadh, Nashville, New Orleans, Indianapolis, and Orlando hosting the next 5, unless there's another city in mind. But what you think about this potential happening in the next 5 years?
I mean, I wouldn't be against it. You know, I honestly think, man, I think the TKO greed sets in pretty soon because, again, when you're doing Riyadh, you're getting how many millions of dollars for the show? And I believe they're paying $55 million or something like that. When you're doing Orlando, you're getting, what was it? 50 million, 18 million? What was the number that you just said? I'm sorry.
18 million, yes.
18 million, and that's for a Survivor Series, a WrestleMania,
and a Royal Rumble.
And a Royal Rumble. Like, I honestly think, in a way, I said this on my show the other night is, and again, how would you feel if they did this? Night 1 is in Nashville. Night 2 is in New Orleans.
No, don't pull a WrestleMania 2. Just stick it all in one city. That's too much traveling, especially if you're like.
Yeah, but then you force fans to purchase the tickets to the one they want to see, or I'm saying you're picking Nashville or you're picking New Orleans. You're not doing WrestleMania 2 because you're not doing them all at the same time. You're doing Night 1 Saturday in Nashville, Sunday in New Orleans.
That wouldn't be surprised if they pull something like that in the near future.
I'm not saying it's a great idea. I'm saying I feel like ultimately this is what they do because then you force fans to be like, all right, I'm going to night 1, or you're going to night 2. It's not, or they might just look, man. To be honest, after this WrestleMania, do you need 2 nights?
To be Riyadh might go back to one night.
I mean, just make it one historical night of great action and be done with it. I don't know if you need 2 nights, man. I feel like you don't have enough. You're not doing enough on the storylines as to get it to where it needs to be, man. And I mean, and I read like the WrestleMania because I was messing around and I was like, I remember WrestleMania 1. WrestleMania 1 was the card was terrible except for the main events, the 3 main events. The card was terrible. It was like King Kong Bundy against S.D. Jones, Ricky Steamboat versus Matt Bourne, which again, not terrible, but it's not pay-per-view matches, you know. And then it was John Studd and the Giant. It was Hogan, of course, the tag team match, and then Wendy Richter against at the time Leilani Kai. But those 3 matches were the only ones that were really pay-per-view worthy. On this one now, again, talent-wise, everybody deserves to be on the PLE. I get that, but the matches that were on, I mean, Oba and Brock, no. But the 6-man that was on, that didn't need to be on a PLE if you didn't want it to be. It was a cool match to be there, but you didn't need that to be on there. So you could really make it a one-night show. And then maybe on Sunday you make it like a fan appreciation thing and do a concert or something. You're doing all this stuff with celebrities. Why can't you just do the wrestling Saturday night, a fan appreciation concert Sunday afternoon? You could fly out and be home by Monday morning. Everybody's good.
Yeah, I'd go back to one night, but then I'm going to have flashbacks of how super long 35 was with a 3-hour kickoff show and a 5-hour main card show. That's true. Yeah. Rumors Riyadh's supposed to go to one night because, you know, Riyadh season culminates in March, and then they'd have a March Mania for the first time in over a decade. I'd be fine with a night in Riyadh with, even if it's 5 or 6 hours, if they got to go pull an AEW and be like, oh, we're going to put maybe 9 no more than like 8-9 matches on a 5-hour card. At least you'll satisfy some people instead of doing that whole 5-6 match in 3 hours shit, which 6 is the minimum. 5, it's like, no, you're not the UFC. I mean, you can add at least one more. Like, I'm okay with 6 being the minimum, but like 4 or 5 is no. Like, I don't like those PLEs.
Yeah, but I think the average match on WrestleMania was like 18 minutes, and that was because the 2 main events each went almost a half hour. There were other matches. I think the longest one was 12 minutes. So it's not like they're going to give them a lot. There was more commercials and everything else than wrestling. So
the Rumble's the only pay-per-view that can get a pass having a 4-match card because you have 2 of those matches lasting over an hour. That gets a pass, especially if you're lucky to make it a 5 card. I'd rather the Rumble be a 5 card show as minimum. But I mean, if it's 4, I get it. I understand. Same with War Games. Those War Games matches don't last an hour unless you drag it. I mean, they'll drag it an hour. But the women's War Games, when I actually went back and watched Survivor Series when I upgraded to ESPN Unlimited, the women's War Games match was probably like 25, 30 minutes. Like, you could have added at least 1 or 2 more matches. They did a 4-match card for last year's Survivor Series. And I'm like, you literally could have added 1 or 2 more matches, but you dragged it like if it was a damn UFC or a boxing show with all the ads and infomercials and popping celebrities in the crowd like it's the UFC, and that's what gets people pissed. Like, I'm paying $30 a month for an hour and a half of advertisement and like 14 minutes of full action, blah, 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 not including entrances and backstage promos and all that bullshit, blip shots of the city, pre-recorded videos of them walking in the venue and whatnot. Like, they just arrived. Kid in the car seat, bullshit clip right there, but I'm not playing it. But that's speaking of TKO, you know, I know I've talked about it 2 weeks ago about the pay cuts and everything, but lately there were some like that just came out of nowhere. Like they started some clause like everyone's getting a pay cut, but you get 2 days to agree with it or get the hell out. And the New Day's gone. Like that, I was just like, what the fuck? I guess they don't agree with the pay cut, but a lot of people were heated about them going. And I know we lost 2 bloodline cousins, JC Mateo, and I think it was Tongaloa. That was like, okay, they left, which I think they're going back to Japan. Jeff Cobb would be great for Japan. Tama Tonga, I mean, if he goes to Japan, go to the.
I have to see if Jeff Cobb didn't, because he burned a bridge at the beginning when he left for WWE with New Japan. But again, it is pro wrestling, so no bridges are technically permanently burned.
Tama Tonga, I could see him going to Japan or go back to MLW, GCW. I'd like to see him go to TNA, but the New Day kind of shocked me because it's okay. First off, look, when it comes to all three guys, I mean, I'll throw Big E in it, even though Big E's still with the company. Separately wise, I loved all three guys. Like when Kofi, like when he was the Jamaican, like I grew big on him, like until we realized it was a fake accent. And then he was great to watch. And then when he won the title for Kofi Mania, like I freaking cried. I cried when he won the WWE title. I was so happy for him, and he made history. Xavier Woods, when I loved him in TNA as Consequences Creed, like he was a badass in the X division. And then when he came to WWE as Xavier Woods, it kind of took me a bit to grow him into him. But he was a very good wrestler. I mean, he won King of the Ring. I was happy for him. He won the U.S. title, record tag titles. Like I enjoyed watching him. Big E. Like when I first saw him, he was like that bodyguard for Dolph Ziggler and AJ Lee. And then when they finally made him a single guy, when they put that Intercontinental belt on him, the white strap on him, I was like, this dude's a badass workhorse. And then it took them that long to say, we're going to put the WWE Championship on him, which I was happy for him too. He deserved it. But it's like, you should have did that maybe like 2 or 3 years before the year you decide to put it on him. But when they put them together as the New Day, at first I hated it. I did not like it. When they would chant New Day, I'm chanting piss break. Like as at first I didn't like it. But then when they turned heel, well, they had to rush them into a heel. When they were a heel group, then I kind of grew into them. When they were feuding with the Usos, that was great shit. Like I loved them, but I loved him more as a heel, not a babyface. Like the Booty-O shit, the pancake toss, and I hated it. Like I hate it because I love pancakes. You're wasting good breakfast food right there, and you're stepping on them. But I mean, they were good together. I love their like gaming fantasy stuff, the whole up, down, down, or they're into like the video game nerd side of them. I do love that, but I didn't really get into them until they kicked Big E out, and then they were really assholes when it was just a 2-man. Like that's when I'm like, okay, I love the New Day now. Like they got to be a heel team. I loved everybody. They were not using them right, and then it sucked that they had to go like that. But maybe they can go do better things. I'd rather them go to TNA. I don't fucking want them in AEW, but I wouldn't be surprised if they end up in AEW. I mean, because we get some fantasy tag matches, we get fantasy singles matches. I know a lot of people want Xavier and Kenny Omega to work together, or they want them to work with the Young Bucks, or go work with FTR again, or work with this team, that team. But I want to see them go to TNA. I want to see them work with the Hardys again. I want to see them work with the Righteous. I want to see Kofi and Mike Santana go one-on-one. I want to see Xavier Woods versus Leon Slater. Or I want to see one of them face Ricky Souza. Like, I would rather see them in TNA. But maybe getting out of WWE with the shit TKO's putting them in might be the best option. But give me your take with the New Day shit.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think they saw the writing on the wall. Like, okay, if we don't take this, or if we take the pay cut, now we've set a precedent, and then they're going to come back to us in a year and say, hey, we're going to have to cut you again, and we're going to have to cut you again, because they weren't using them right. They were just barely using them on Raw as a whatever. So I think they did what was right for them. And again, I think they go to AEW just because the money will be around the same. And TNA, the partnership with WWE, like I don't know. I think the AEW part is the way that they will probably go. But again, it goes back to where, to me, TKO has set this precedent with the talent, man. And at some point, as talent, you got to either believe in yourself or you stay there and you work for the corporation. And kudos to Kofi and Xavier. Now Apollo, I think he's going to go with Apollo Creed.
Consequences Creed?
Apollo Crews, I think is what, Apollo Creed. Yeah, Apollo Creed, I think it's what he said he was going to do.
Apollo
But
Creed didn't make, but it was a Consequences Creed.
yeah, Consequence Creed, yeah, whatever, yeah, whatever's going to be. I like the fact that they're taking a gamble on themselves, telling TKO, "Here you go, buddy." And I think though, what New Day has that others might not have is the fact that what you said, they have reinvented themselves individually and as a team, time over time to where they've stayed relevant. WWE creative hasn't used them like they're relevant, but they have stayed relevant, which makes them big money targets upcoming when their 90 days are up. And that's why I think you'll see them to AEW.
Well, they're still doing that 90-day clause and whatnot. Yeah. We'll probably by July we'll see if they end up. With Tony
I saw
who
was it?
Or end up with Santino.
Yeah, somebody put out a countdown and it was like July 6th or 7th or something. It was something like that.
And I don't really watch AEW. Matter of fact, I'm technically just watching wrestling 2 days a week now. Like that's how. It's not just WWE. It's like other shows in general are just like, I don't know. I guess it's just me, but it's like I only watch Raw on Mondays and Impact on Thursdays. Like SmackDown is just a shit in the water I'll get to later. But like AEW, I mean, yeah, their fan base is growing, but I don't know. It's just, yeah, they wrestle, but they just randomly will put shit together and no storytelling. And then I don't like the deal where I got to still pay extra for pay-per-view when I'm already paying for a subscription with Prime and HBO Max and all that shit. That's why I don't.
Well, I don't know that their audience is growing. Their demo's growing in certain numbers, but the ratings are going down. So I don't know how the one offsets the other. But again, I know they've got millions of people watching on HBO Max, I'm being told. So
yeah. And then NXT, which
that's done.
Again, it's kind. I mean, I stopped after Joe Hendry and Ricky Saints were called up. Like, there's really nothing. No. I don't know. Like,
it's Tony D'Angelo and a bunch of people trying to work to get their names known. That's what's going on right now.
The biggest talk right now is that new star Mason Rook that arrived, and he's getting bashed with his size and his look, saying like he looks like an overweight Brock Lesnar or looks like a lunch lady and all that.
And the funny thing is, they said the same thing about Kevin Owens when he first made it there.
That's why it's developmental. Now here's my thing about
and honestly, it's not about the look. You want to have something that's different. That was the problem with WWE under Vince McMahon. He had cookie cutter. Everybody looked the same because he wanted jack guys with the same. So you have Batista, you have Orton. Yeah, I mean, their faces look different, but their bodies are all the same. Then you started getting in the Adam Coles, the indie talent that has a different physique. And again, I know Vince didn't use them right, and Vince didn't use, but Triple H has shown that he will use them up until apparently he won't use them with Ciampa and Gargano, but he's not afraid to use the smaller guys or the bigger guys, and KO has helped with that. But to me, like, a lot of people get so like on this stuff about like, oh, we need to create new stars. We need to do this. But then when they go and they get guys that have talent, which this guy does, if you watch his film, if you watch his film, you can't sit there and say, oh, this guy's this, because I can tell you now he does a lot of the stuff that some of the smaller guys can't do. If you actually sat there and gave, but again, it's everybody's, we want stars. Oh, we want stars, but that guy looks like a lunch bag, or this guy looks like, let it play out, man. Let stuff play out and then go from there. Because again, the thing is, they went back to the indies. The problem before was they were getting these, and it has worked out for some. Obafemi, Trick Williams, Tiffany Stratton. That was all that NIL. Next in line. They went to colleges. You're a gymnast? Oh, there's not really a professional gymnast league. Why don't you try your hand in wrestling? Oh, you do the shot put? There's not really a shot put league. Why don't you try your hand in wrestling? And it's worked for them. But for all of them that it has worked for, look at that list cut and look how many NXT names are on there that weren't getting paid a lot of money, but they let them go because it wasn't working out, or they didn't feel they were going to be able to get to the light to be elevated to the main roster. And this guy, to me, I feel like this guy, again, once he learns that WWE way of wrestling in the ring, they got something with this guy.
Well, see, NXT is developmental. They think it's like a big league. No, it's more of developmental. Yeah, he may not look it. They give him time. They're going to give him a makeover, basically, when they find the character for him. And when they put him in the gym, he's going to look at Gunther. Remember how out of shape he was, but he didn't get a lot of criticism? And then when he got to the main roster, he was jacked. I remember when he was chunky. Well, I mean, he wasn't chunky like this guy, but he was just a blob when he was in NXT UK. But when he moved to NXT, he got in shape. And then we noticed the difference. Like, okay, this guy ain't fat anymore. This guy's muscular. Dude, look at the same for him. This guy, like, when they work with him and figure him out, he's going to look like a star. Yeah, you're not going to look your 100% best in your debut most of the time anyway. But I saw the tape of this guy. He must be from Europe. He's got an accent. I don't know if he's from the UK or he's from Australia or something. He's got an accent. But he can work. Now, a lot of shit you saw on that tape, you might not be able to see on CW network. He loves to do pile drivers and shit, but they're gonna say no to that. But any big guy that could cut a moonsault, like remember Kevin Owens could cut a moonsault. Hell, remember Bull Dipsy, he could cut a moonsault. Bronson Reed could freaking high fly off the top as a 300+ pound guy. I mean, we've seen Umaga jumped off the top rope as a big guy. I don't think Obafemi ever jumped off the top rope yet.
He doesn't need to. That guy doesn't need to. He's Brock Lesnar. He doesn't need to jump off the top. Yeah. We saw what happened to Brock Lesnar when he tried to jump off the top.
Yeah. Well, hell, I'm shocked with Brock and Oba. They didn't pull like a Brock Big Show or Brock Mark Henry and do the superplex and the ring imploded. Shocked that, or Braun Strowman. Same here. But Big Show's gone, so we won't have to worry about that. But no, I mean, yeah, he may not look the part. I mean, if you're gonna make a joke for me to see on the internet, you better make me laugh. Oh yeah, they made me laugh about it, but I mean, I'm not gonna joke about the guy. I think he's fantastic. They just need to give him a makeover, make him look like a star. But I
just don't understand how everybody's like, oh, WWE needs to create stars, but then when they bring guys on, it's like, oh no, that's not the star.
If they don't know who they are, then they're gonna criticize.
Yeah, but that's the problem, man. That's the problem, though, because WWE and everybody looks at whether they say they do or don't. They take what's said about these guys and gals and figure out what they want to do with them. So in retrospect, you are affecting some of these guys and gals' career, especially if they're using AI now and saying, what is the response to this guy in NXT? What does AI do? It takes everything on the internet, brings it all together, and says 80% of the people are making fun of him, 20% think he'll last. So what do you think creative's going to do for him?
They're gonna put the rest of the marks that were bashing them into the ground. Like, oh, but watch, they're gonna turn their heads. Like, I wish I could have screenshotted whoever shit talked them around the world, and then 6 months in advance, let's say like he becomes like a breakout star or something, and he gets well known, and then they're like, "Oh, this guy's awesome!" Like, you just called him a fat lunch lady 6 months ago.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's the thing, though. A lot of people will not have that, and then if he does start doing good, they'll go back through the X and be like, "Where did I say that one? Okay, let me delete that before somebody." Hopefully, somebody's got it screenshotted.
Well, just don't defend her. I mean, yeah, people will see what you post these days on the internet these days, but it's like. They really, I mean, some people don't even give a shit like what you say, even if you defend them. Like I guess they don't care. But I mean, I never bash the guy. I don't usually bash. I mean, I'm bashing maybe one or two wrestlers today, but I'm not bashing him. I think he's going to be a hell of a star.
I usually never bash the talent inside the ropes. I will bash creative. I will bash the direction of a company. I will bash the thing. I usually never, unless somebody's being unsafe or there was an unsafe like move, like that was whatever. And again, I'm not bashing. I will just point out that if so and so would have done this, it would have been a safer move than what you ended up seeing there, or something like that. Not a bash, but a critique, I guess I would say.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and wrap this up. We got 5 matches to predict on a shit show. I'm like, so like I said, I didn't have nothing to say on SmackDown. I'll kind of bring it up when we do these predictions. But yeah, give me your best Triple H Batman prediction Backlash. Dude, I've been laughing at I don't know who brought that back, but I remembered that promo. I was like, oh my God, that was from 06. And
it was Danhausen. It was Danhausen. He did a thing where everybody was doing it like Backlash.
I remember
Backlash.
that promo.
You know, they just kept escalating up, and it was Danhausen doing Backlash and things like that. So yeah, it was. I believe that was who technically brought it back, and then I think it's been clipped since for other stuff.
Well, Backlash used to be like a perfect pay-per-view to watch following WrestleMania. Like when it first happened in the Attitude Era, Backlash was the shit. Like from 99 to 09, like it was awesome to watch the show. Like maybe during that time, the worst Backlash they had at that time frame was probably 2008. But like a lot of them Backlashes were actually good. Like 2000 was my favorite, where they had Stone Cold returning to help The Rock overcome Triple H in the McMahon-Helmsley era. A lot of people talk about 04 Backlash when Orton got over by Cactus Jack with that brutal hardcore match, or they talk about Cena and Edge's last man standing match in 09 when Cena got chokeslam that Michael Cole quoted week after week through a 7,000-watt power searchlight, folks. And then when they brought it back in the 2010s, which I thought it was stupid they brought it back in the fall in 2016. But then when they brought it back after WrestleMania for a short bit, you know, during that time frame, they may have had one or two good backlashes. Like the backlash in Puerto Rico was the best one in that time frame. Mm-hmm. I didn't really care for last year's Backlash. Everyone said that Cena Orton match was good. I said, I know a better Cena Orton match than that. But everyone hated. I still think, man, Jinder Mahal winning that WWE title was a fucking awesome moment. And don't hinder the Jinder. But yeah, Backlash used to mean something, but now it hasn't been shit.
Yeah, it used to be, in a way, however you want to look at this, it was either to correct the course after WrestleMania or to reset the course after WrestleMania. Is kind of how they did Backlash. Like, okay, all right, that WrestleMania didn't hit everything we thought it was going to hit. All right, how do we reset it? Let's go to Backlash, and you know, and again, the Orton Jinder Mahal thing. Boom, we reset it, and we go on. Now I feel like it's just another pay-per-view. Like I don't. And with these matches, I look at them and I'm just kind of like, they feel the same way I do. Like it's just, hey guys, here's a Saturday night main event card with Roman. That's basically what they gave you.
Yeah. Well, first up, speaking of a guy you mentioned, I think we're going to go the same route here. The main thing we're picking is who's going to be his partner, because I think we're both going to agree that Danhausen and his tag team partners winning this tag match with Miz and Kit Wilson. Okay, who's the partner going to be? Because rumors are going around, skepticals are going around. They think this person could team up, this person, blah, blah, blah. What you think?
I know somebody put out the thing where WWE, or at least they said that WWE put out a teaser that the guy loves money. It kind of got me thinking, but on our show, man, this is how bad it got on us predicting Backlash. Okay. We were like, what happens if they do a thing and it's Stardust? Have Stardust come out and be, you know, like they go to the thing and Danhausen like, here's my partner, and all you see is the little hands, and then they do this and it's Stardust for the night. Be Cody as Stardust for the night to be the thing. But to be honest, man, I just feel like the more I thought about it, and I've heard the jelly roll thing now, but yeah, I mean, you know, I even threw out all the gingerbread man, forgetting that the funeral was last night. But then Danhausen picks up the gingerbread man outfit last night on a late post by WWE. I don't know if that was after the show or during the show. Little Yachty and Trick are walking. They throw the thing, the costume kind of in like a wheelbarrow, and Danhausen picks it up and says stuff. But like, I'm thinking, okay. And again, I'm just thinking because I know everybody's going to be like, oh, it's going to be this big guy. He likes money. Who is money that's on SmackDown? Mello is money. I think it's Carmelo Hayes.
Okay, so I was also going to say, outside of Danhausen, because, you know, I haven't been watching SmackDown. SmackDown has been shit for the last couple months. Is there anybody else that Miz and Kit are feuding with outside of Danhausen that you can recall? Because now the clips with Danhausen crashing Miz's home and all that, great shit, absolute cinema.
I loved it. The guy I do the show with didn't like it after the first one. He's like, I thought it got a little bit. I loved all of them, man. I loved all of them, man.
Anyhow,
I'm trying to think. Like, I mean, the only thing that, again, and this is the other thing that we talked about on the show, was Mello was, remember you had Mello and Miz were partners. When he can't Miz or whatever the hell I forgot what the tag team was that they did. And then Kit is just they're just there. They're the New Day on SmackDown. Whenever you need a void, you throw in Miz and Kit Wilson. Just like on Raw, we need to figure out something. Okay, well, let's throw Grayson Waller and New Day out there, and they can take up a couple minutes. That's what Miz and Kit Wilson have become on SmackDown, and I don't expect it to be a big surprise. I don't. So that's why I kind of now have settled with Carmelo Hayes. I know on my show I think I picked Stardust as a joke and other stuff like that, but I really honestly think it's going to be Carmelo Hayes because they're not going to throw a big surprise out there. If I'm not mistaken, this match is on the main card. This isn't even on the free ESPN hour.
Yeah, but it's going to be I mean, I don't know if you want to call it entertaining, but I mean,
it'll be an entertaining match. It won't be a great match. It'll be an entertaining match.
This could be a match that could put some disappointment because no one knows who the partner's going to be. I mean, I've heard dumbasses say some shit like, "Oh, Cena's going to be his partner," or "CM Punk's going to be his partner because they're buddies," or "Royce Keys is going to be his partner." Like,
I said Shane O'Mac as well. I said Shane McMahon as well because again, he loves money. All of a sudden, I've been getting on my feed this damn question about Triple H and that Shane McMahon has asked, "What's your relationship with Triple H?" That has shown up on my X timeline over and over this week. And I don't know why, but I was like, hey, you know what? Shane O'Mac maybe as well. But again, I don't think it's going to be anybody. They've not shown me anything other than Pat McAfee and Jelly Roll. So I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised if they put Jelly Roll in to piss people off and because they had to write off the tag match they wanted with Cody and Jelly Roll versus Orton and McAfee. But I think what I could see happen is, since you brought Carmelo Hayes up, I could see him as a partner, but is he going to wrestle in his actual ring gear, or is he actually going to hide in the gingerbread suit? Like you said, he found the suit. What if he magically brought the gingerbread back to life? He comes out in he said, the gingerbread man's my partner. And then it's doing crazy, awesome moves, and he takes the hat off. It's Carmelo Hayes. I could see it be some shit like that, and people are still going to complain. So that I could see Carmelo Hayes. The fact that the way you explained it, I could see that happening, but does he wrestle as himself or does he actually hide in the gingerbread suit? That's going to be time to tell right there. Yeah, but hey, I'd rather see that than fucking Jelly Roll or anybody else. I've heard people say like they want CM Punk, they want Royce Keys, they want John Cena, they want Obafemi, or they want this guy, that guy, whatever. But
I mean, my problem with that is, okay, it's CM Punk. What does that do? I mean, other than, okay, it's not like by the time if it's going to be CM Punk as his partner, you introduce it early to sell tickets.
Oh, because they're both from Chicago and they're both good friends in real life.
No, I get the reasoning behind why they're saying it, but to me, it's like, okay, if it's CM Punk though, you put CM Punk on the poster to sell tickets now. Like, why are you going to make a surprise out of CM Punk when you could just throw him on a poster? It'd be like Jacob Fatu versus a mystery opponent. When like, no, just make it Roman. Like, I just, especially if it's a guy that's going to move. That's why I think it's like a Carmelo Hayes or somebody like that, because then you go, again, as WWE fans, a lot of them get worked up. Remember Brock Lesnar versus mystery opponent in Madison Square Garden. Everybody was like, WWE, Madison Square Garden, Brock Lesnar right after Christmas. This has got to be Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
What did they do? They gave you Austin Theory, and everybody was like, oh, you told us it was going to be Roman. No, they said against a guest opponent. Never said you worked yourself up into Roman Reigns after Christmas. Again, that's where I feel like, again, it's going to be a no-win situation if it is Carmelo Hayes because everybody's going to kind of poo-poo on it. But lately, that kind of feels like the way they go with it.
Yeah. Then we get Io Sky versus Asuka, which a lot of people are like pissed that it should have happened at Mania, and then they're doing this right after Kairi Sane left, like at a bad timing. But I think it could be a hell of a match. What you got here?
I think this is going to be Kairi Sane's send-off. I think Kairi Sane gets involved. I think she beats Asuka down. Io Sky gets the win. It seals off everything, finishes the feud. Io Sky can move on. Asuka can move on, and we're done with it. And Kairi gets one last hurrah.
I got Io Sky winning too. That wouldn't be a bad idea, but I feel like it's going to piss the ones like I've been seeing the tagline, the hashtags. We want Kairi. We want Kairi. Yep. They'll get her back for this moment, but then the next night she goes back home for good. Then they're really going to be pissed. Like, oh, we thought we got fooled. We thought she was back for good. Kind of like the shit with R-Truth last year when the We Want Truth, and then he comes back at Money in the Bank, but it wasn't just a one-off. They actually brought him back, which I saw that documentary that he really technically wasn't fired. I think it was like a mishap or some shit.
Yeah, there was miscommunication in the contract. It was where he felt he was fired because they said we're not renewing. And that's, again, this is where I think some of these are happening. Because, again, with Kairi Sane, her situation alone, it was reported that she wanted to go back to Japan possibly when her contract expired.
Mm-hmm.
So what if they told her, we're just not renewing your contract? Your contract ends in August or whatever it's going to be. You sit at home or you can go back to Japan now. We pay you till August and then you're done with WWE.
Yeah.
It turns into the R-Truth situation to where she can debut here, or not debut, but show up here because she's still under contract. It's just they're not renewing her contract because of money, whatever they think, and now she gets to go home. And again, I know she's come out and said, this is not the decision I want and stuff like that. But ultimately, you're still under contract in a way. So it, with that thinking, could happen. Will it happen? No, because I'm usually 99% wrong on what I would like to see happen and what they actually do. I'll give you those odds now already.
All right. Then we got Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker, a match we should have got at Mania, but we're getting it after. But could be a show stealer, could be a bullshit match, could be a squash match, could be anything. But what you got here?
I think, look, if you want this to continue, Braun Breaker needs to win. Now, whether there's shenanigans, there's whatever, you figure that part of it out on however. I honestly think Bronson Reed returns tonight. That's my feeling. I don't know where he stands on his rehab. I don't know where he's at, but he was quiet for months on X, and then all of a sudden he started coming back on, singing stuff right around the cut time when people were getting cut. So I don't know if he's ready. I don't know if he's able to, but I definitely think there's going to be shenanigans. I think Braun Breaker beats Seth Rollins because Braun Breaker needs to beat him if they're going to continue this. Now, if you want to kill the storyline right now, here and there, then Seth Rollins get the victory. I don't think that's happening, so I'm going Braun Breaker in this one.
Oh, no, I think this is going to stretch throughout the summer. I got Braun Breaker winning 2. They're going to have like probably 3 PLE matches in the summer. Mm-hmm. Now, wait, Bronson, it's been, 7-9 months already? I remember he got injured, I think, around October. I don't remember if it was the shoulder injury or it was a leg injury, but when he got injured again, I thought they said like at least 7 to 9 months. It's already been that long. He could make a comeback.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, possibly. Again, and again, he doesn't have to get physical. He could just kind of jump up on the apron, distract Seth, and then a spear, and the match is over. I mean, I don't know if he's going to get physical, but I think he gets involved. Again, I don't know the injury or where he stands at that. But then again, you can do the same thing with Logan Paul or Austin Theory or anybody from the Vision. All you got to do is distract them real quick and then take the spear.
It's been 6 months because He got hurt at Survivor. I think it was Survivor Series. He got hurt.
Yeah. And then he got hurt right after Braun Breaker, right? Breaker got hurt early, and then.
So it's been about 6 months. I mean, maybe he got. If he does make a comeback, then we've seen people that were supposed to be out longer and came back quicker. Remember John Cena in 2008 with the pec tour. Yeah. He came back in 3 months. So I mean, it could have. I thought it was in. He got hurt in Australia, but no, he got hurt at Survivor Series because he was in that War Games match. I think that's where he got hurt. But it
doesn't have good. He has no good luck in the War Games matches. No good luck.
No, but
that's where he blew out his ankle too that one year. In the War Games
yes, this is gonna probably be like the feud of the summer. Seth trying to take the Vision out. He'll probably he'll wrestle Austin Theory one night. Then another night he'll wrestle Logan Paul. Then he'll.
And I think you'll get the Street Profits involved, so you'll get some 6-man tags here and there, and they'll stretch this whole thing out for, like you said, the whole summer.
Oh yeah, I could see a 6-man tag down the road. Even if Bronson Reed don't come back, I could see. We got Saturday night's main event coming up. I wouldn't be surprised if we get Seth and the Street Profits against the Vision at Saturday night's main event, or even we got Clash in Italy coming up. But I saw something on X. I don't know if this was a made-up picture or not. Someone made a graphic for Saturday night's main event. I retweeted it. I'm trying to go find it. Finn Balor, LA Knight, and they put Bronson Reed in it. The winner would get Roman Reigns at Clash in Italy. So I thought it was a tease because they put Bronson Reed on it. But, hey, if he does come back, maybe they could make that triple threat official, and the winner gets Roman and Italy, which if this were to happen, I'd say Finn Balor would win the triple threat. But
I don't know. I didn't see that one, but no, I mean, it would make sense for that one.
All right. Yeah. Then we got Trick Williams, Sami Zayn for the United States Championship. Look, I am fucking over this feud.
Yes. Yep.
The funeral with the fucking gingerbread man. I mean, I laughed at the end of it. Mm-hmm. I laughed at the end of it, but I'm so over this feud, dude. Like, I cannot stand Sami Zayn. Trick needs better storylines. Look, I mean, I got nothing against Lil Yachty, but I feel like they need to put Lil Yachty on the shelf. Like, I need Trick to move on and do better things with that U.S. title. Like, I'm over the gingerbread bullshit.
Yeah. The
funeral was a little overboard, but the ending made me laugh when he rose up like the Undertaker. But please put this rivalry to bed. What you got here?
It's got to be Trick, right? I mean, if you know the what is it? The lemon pepper steppers is gonna step all over Sami Zayn. I mean, if you put the title back on Sami Zayn, you have ruined Trick Williams. You might as well release him tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm shocked he ain't got a sponsorship with Wingstop Lemon Pepper. Like, best wings you can get at Wingstop right there, the lemon pepper step.
Who's sponsoring the match? Oh, no, the Backlash is sponsored. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, Morgan & Morgan is sponsoring them for a second year. But remember, lately, certain sponsors sponsor a match. So, I mean.
I was going to say the whole ring of green ropes for Wingstop and Wingstop on the logo in the middle of the ring. I can see it happen.
I would love to see, like, Trick Williams come out one day with a box of lemon pepper, and he's just eating them while doing his work. Or got Lil Yachty eating them in the background. Like,
that make Lil Yachty useful. There you go.
Yeah, because that's the best ones right there. Lemon pepper is the best ones from Wingstop outside the Cajun rub. But, yeah, I got Trick retaining, and then I don't know what they're going to do with Sammy after that. I really don't give a shit. All right, main event. This could go either way. It could be a banger. It could be a squash match. Could end in a no contest. I don't know what the case could be, but we got Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu for the World Heavyweight Championship. I guess I like where this is going. I mean, but I feel like I know what's going to happen, but they're pushing one guy too far for nothing. But what you got on this main event?
Yeah, I mean, I love how all of a sudden the rumors come out that Roman and TKO are the odds and everything else. But I did say on my show, I said, the only way we'll know that rumor is true is if Jacob Fatu walks out the heavyweight champion tonight. Because the only way Jacob Fatu wins is if Roman Reigns is like on outs or is leaving, WWE. There's no way. You don't stop the momentum that CM Punk had to put the belt on Roman Reigns to just drop the belt less than a month later to Jacob Fatu, no matter what the storyline is. It just now again, you can get people involved, and Jacob Fatu doesn't have to get pinned, and you can run it back almost like Bloodline with Solo versus Bloodline with Roman again. However you want to work this, there's ways around it. I'm not saying it's got to be a squash, but Roman will leave Tampa still champion.
Look, no disrespect to Jacob Fatu. I think he's great. I love him to death. He'll be a future world champion one day. But if you put Roman as a transitional champion, the internet is going to shit a chicken. Those Roman diehards who waited 2 years for him to get the belt back, if he drops it that quick, chaos is going to break. They're going to call out TKO. They're going to call out this. They're going to call out Nick Khan. They're going to call out Triple H. They're going to call out whoever they can, saying that this was a disgrace. And then they're really going to lose viewership. And then the shit with, I heard it was a quote unquote misprint about Roman wasn't going to appear in the summer. Like I heard it was like a misprint, like because he said at the WrestleMania press conference he was going to be at every Raw in the summer.
Yeah.
But remember, they're doing a European tour mainly throughout the month of June.
And he's not involved in it, so it doesn't make sense for him to.
But I would be shocked he don't pop up in Paris or pop up in London at least, because I mean they're going to be going there, and we know he's going to be in Italy. But they're doing one show in America in June, and it's in Baltimore. But most of June, you're going to do your European tour, and you got Raw going to Paris, Tehran, and London. You'd want to. That's 3 big.
I would think so, but the word is they're going to have him get injured at the Raw after Backlash,
unless he's got. And then he'll be out of.
And then he'll be out of the tour. That's again. Believe what you want. Everything's with a grain of salt. We don't know everything, but that's kind of the word that's going around, which is why he was pulled off of the tour.
No telling. I mean, unless
you have to remember, Roman's not flying coach, okay?
Yeah,
so logistically, you're flying Roman.
Yeah.
Yeah, save that money, TKO.
First class for him, but Roman retains. But I don't know if he's going. I'm gonna say he's going to film a movie or something. But look at Cody. Cody's not defending it tonight. He's not defending it a lot, but he's going to be at the next one in Italy with Gunther and whatnot. But all right, one more thing.
It feels like they alternate the heavyweight titles on the smaller pay-per-views. So you'll get Roman defending this time, and then Cody defends, and then kind of feels.
One more thing about the show. What's this groundbreaking announcement from John Cena? I think it's bullshit. What it's going to be. Yeah.
I think it's the WWE club thing again. I honestly, I mean,
I think it's that too.
What is history
historic about it? I don't know. I think it's about club, and I'm looking at this like, oh, they're gonna. So what? They're actually doing this shit. Backlash is the first hours on ESPN2. So what? Let me guess. You're gonna have this groundbreaking announcement. And I think Danhausen's tag match will be on the first hour, and the rest of the show is going to be on the pay-per-view card.
No. They already announced the first 2 matches. It's Sammy and Trick.
Oh,
and hold on, man. I'm sorry. I'm trying to find it right now. Because that's what I saw. I thought the Danhausen match would be on 100% on ESPN2, but it wasn't. It was.
Okay, so now this is going to be a thing. The first hour of each PLE is going to be on ESPN or ESPN2 for free, and then the rest is on the card. So, I mean, I think it's kind of corny. It's some UFC type shit. That's where you'd want to throw more matches because people might not want to watch the first hour for free and want to get on the actual main card shit, and you only got 3 matches or 4 to watch. But I'm just realizing this in this image. Like at the bottom, since the first hour is on ESPN2, which... Okay.
Yeah.
But
I think this is where hold on a minute.
But
geez, wow. So the first hour is going to be Sami Zayn against Trick Williams and Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker.
And the other 3 are on the paper. You got to okay. Oh wow.
Jeez. The other 4. Oh no, yeah, sorry.
There's only
so Danhausen, Asuka, and Roman. Yeah, I'm sorry. They put them. I didn't realize they put them back down there in the bottom. Sorry.
Wow.
At the bottom of the article as well. So yeah. So the other 3, and John Cena appears says, but on that you have there, it says he makes the announcement right on. Oh well, I don't know if he's making it on the. I read it. he's making the announcement on the first hour on ESPN2, but that might not be accurate.
Well, I guess so. Now I thought that was just a one-off with WrestleMania. Oh, now they're going to do this every PLE. They're going to have the first hour.
What I don't understand is why not just do it as part of your kickoff show? Put your kickoff show on ESPN2, and then you just throw in a couple matches there instead of now you're doing PLE matches on ESPN.
Yeah, because it's just
and you're not even doing it on ESPN. You're doing it on ESPN2.
Yeah, because they got Stanley Cup playoffs going on, the NBA playoffs, and all that.
So it's not again. Now, when everybody says, "Oh, ESPN's so upset with WWE over the ratings and everything else," are they really?
I think it's bullshit.
Are they really? Then why are they putting them on ESPN2 if it was such an upset thing? No, it just gives them content.
I don't know. That'll make a good Dark Side of the Ring in the future with TKO, but. So I guess now this is a thing. First, now every PLE's first hour is going to be on ESPN or ESPN2.
Yeah,
I thought that was just for Mania, but anyhow. Well, that's going to wrap up the show. Before we go, before you find where we could find you and everything, tomorrow's Mother's Day. I want to give Mother's Day shout outs here. Happy Mother's Day to all the wonderful mothers out there, or especially the ones that just became a mother. Congratulations. I hope you be a terrific mom. And, and I send my thoughts and prayers to those who've lost their moms over the years, or if you are a mother who lost a child, my thoughts and prayers to all you guys. But happy Mother's Day to all the wonderful moms out there. I know, big thank you to my mom for everything she's did for me. She don't watch this shit, but she hears about it. But happy Mother's Day to her. Two of my three sisters who grown and married and have kids of their own. Happy Mother's Day to them. To my aunt, my grandparents, my grandmothers, my cousins that are all mothers and friends, best friends that have kids of their own too. Happy Mother's Day to all of them. And I hope the weather don't ruin y'all, because I know we're about to have severe weather all weekend and we'll have to mainly be indoors. But happy Mother's Day to everyone, and I'll let you take it over to give your Mother's Day shout outs.
Yeah, no, I want to say happy Mother's Day to everybody out there. My daughter, of course, she made me a grandfather. So my mother...
Congrats.
Passed away, but always happy Mother's Day to her. All my grandmothers, everything, my wife's mother, and everybody out there that is celebrating Mother's Day, a happy Mother's Day. Enjoy your day. And they should be celebrated year round, but definitely celebrate your mom today or tomorrow. Sorry, this is live.
All right, where can we find you on social media?
I can be found on X on SS_Sports Talk, and then Stanley Media House everywhere else. Stanley Media House Network on YouTube. Got the 3 shows: The Squared Circle Digest, Talkin' Racing Now, and South Florida Sports Unfiltered. And I appreciate you having me on here, man.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to have you down the road in the future as well. You can find me on X at DirtySouthENT_, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. My other show, On the Go, where I cover sports across I-10 from Houston to New Orleans, you can find as well. Usually, I'm changing the nights. I usually go on Wednesday nights around 9 p.m., but with schedule going around, I might change it to Thursday for this week, or I might make it Tuesdays and Thursdays. But Wednesdays, I need a rest day in the middle of the week until football season comes, and I'll go back to Wednesday nights. But for my live streams of those. But yeah, this was great, man. Thank you again. Hope everyone enjoys Backlash, enjoys UFC 328 if you're into that. Enjoy your Mother's Day weekend, all that. Summertime's right around the corner, so yeah, it's going to get hot indeed. But yeah, man, thank you for coming on, and I'll catch you guys down the road.
Thank you.